This is Bryce Coffey with CoffeyTravels. Just wanted to create a episode 6 for Wanderlust and Wallets podcast. In today's topic, I wanted to see if we could discuss a specific place. I've been going more general, seeing as if I'm going to Miami pretty soon. My topic for today is Miami worth it? A budget versus a luxury breakdown. So, when it comes to Miami, the city, really, city of the heat, basically the place to escape cold weather in the winter. Don't care what you guys, maybe you guys disagree, with the exception of Hawaii. I can understand that, but there's nowhere in continental U.S. that you can escape the cold, really. L.A. gets kind of cold, gets some of the effects of it. It's raining right now. Las Vegas, well, it gets freezing, or close to freezing at night. Even far south as Louisiana and Houston, a few weeks ago, there was snow there. And even Orlando, as far as south in Florida, you can still get freezes here and there. But if you want to really escape the whole shebang of old man winter, really Miami is the place to go. There's hardly a chance where the Magic City will experience snow or experience freezing temperatures, let alone minus temperatures like it is in most of the country, especially the Midwest. The Midwest is the worst place when it comes to that. Because the Midwest, you get the worst of both worlds. You get humid, hot summers, but you also get the cold, brutal winters. So when it comes to Miami, it's a no-brainer for many. That's a bucket list destination. But for starters, let's see. It's got, obviously, some of the best beaches. You got South Beach, you got Mid Beach, you got Bay Biscayne. You have all sorts of destinations like Sunny Isle Beach, all the way up to Fort Lauderdale, and all the way keeping up to Pompano, and then West Palm, all the way. If you want to count the West Palm Beach area where Mar-a-Lago is, for example, then yeah, you can go at it. But it's not just that. You got so much to do: rooftop bars, Cuban food. You can experience nightlife like you couldn't experience anywhere else in the U.S. Miami's almost synonymous with American nightlife. As amongst international tourists, it's the top destination that people want to go for nightlife. You got Wynwood, you got Brickell, you've got South Beach, which South Beach has kind of been overrated lately, and last Spring Breakers, which unfortunately I'm going soon, but it's very rowdy and overcrowded and overpriced in South Beach, but it's still a good place for people to go once in a while. Nevertheless, it's there's other options. Brickell is more fancy, bourgeois. Wynwood's very low key, very famous and very open. Very I guess was the word, really hip, to say the least. It's probably the most hip place to go. Wynwood. Look it up as WYN. I think it's another N, I'm not mistaken. And then Wynwood. Yeah, you got the Wynwood walls and all that sort. But it's you got so much to do. But and you got obviously the sports teams, the Heat. You got Miami Marlins, and you got, of course, Inter Miami. Couldn't go without mentioning that. The Dolphins, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a melting pot of cultures. Like I said, people from all over the world probably go think of Miami more, or have a fondness or interest of going to Miami more than any other U.S. city. Especially nowadays, especially Latino people who speak Spanish, especially Hispanic people. It's the place, the cultural grounds for attracting the people, a cosmopolitan environment, which is what I love about it. I love cosmopolitanism very much, but it comes with a cost. It's all about the cost. It's not cheap by any stretch of the means. It actually is cheaper, believe it or not, than New York and LA, but it's probably the third most expensive. That and Las Vegas is probably It's more expensive than Las Vegas, I think. But it's very much, some people will say it's a soulless place. It's a lot of people who take advantage, that it attracts a lot of people who take advantage of others, especially if they're rich. But, I mean, and it's up for debate, of course. But like, obviously, Miami rooftop bars, you got so much cultural, diversity. I mean, it's a no-brainer almost, and awesome weather, except, of course, in the summer, you don't want to go to Florida, unfortunately. Going to Florida after March, like April through maybe October, early October, is probably Florida summer is just too humid. You got no seamies, you got all sorts of like chiggers and all sorts of bugs, mosquitoes, and all that just attack you relentlessly and to a much more greater degree than I would think anywhere else. But anyways, not to get off script, there's let's just compare. Let's compare what Miami is like, its appeal, like as like making it a budget friendly Miami versus like a luxury Miami. So let's say you want the full Miami experience, but your wallet's like saying, I can't, so to speak. Well, here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. And I have a lot of connections in Miami as well. I'm not from there, but I've been there many times and have so many connections. I recommend like doing what they recommend, which is like they would say skip the expensive South Beach hotels. I would as well. There's one hotel though that's not too bad, and that is called the Penguin Hotel. And they're not being paid for this, by the way. I'm just recommending. It's really good because you get continental breakfast. You get it's like 100 and something, $145 a night for South Beach along Ocean Drive. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't bring a car. Trust me on that. $40 valet parking, but it's definitely probably the exception because everything else is like resort fees and all that stuff. It's $500 a night. You got fancy hotels, low, like Wyndham. You have like Naboo. You got a Fountain Blue. That's more on mid beach. By the way, I'll give you the breakdown. But like when it comes to selecting hotels, be mindful of the location or the neighborhood because mid beach and as you go further north, well, mid beach is more for the posh 5-star hotels, like what's the name of? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It would be like I said, the Lowe's. You got or Lowe's or whatever. I think Lowe's. Whatever. You got the Ritz Carltons. You got some more budget, but like Best Western Holiday Inn. But like keep in mind with those, they are resorts, so they're gonna like charge the same. They're gonna be trying to be on par with it. And so just so you know, when you book a hotel between being on the coast and not, keep in mind like you're gonna pay so much more being on the beach, obviously. But if you book a hotel literally a street, I mean, not exactly on the beach, but like in mid beach, there's a road called Collins Avenue, I believe, that separates out like it's not a major road either. It's basically yeah, Collins Avenue is like it's right next. Like there's a bunch of more budget friendly hotels that are literally across the street, and it's not really a hassle to cross the street. So if you're on a budget, I would recommend booking if you want to be in mid beach and avoid all the crowds and hecticness in South Beach. Just move one block west, and you get probably like 200 to $300 a night type of range for hotels versus being on the beach. It's going to be easily 500, 400 to 900 or more dollars a night. So just keep that in mind. That's my first thing I'd recommend with budget friendly hotels on Miami Beach. And Miami itself, like, so here's the thing: Miami and Miami Beach are different. Miami Beach is the archipelago that's on the eastern side flank of this bay. That's Miami Bay or whatever. Miami Beach is the one that is right next to the Atlantic Ocean. Miami itself, downtown Miami, with all the skyscrapers and all that, that's on the western side, and you had to cross over onto the mainland, so to speak, to get to Miami Beach. No, to get to Miami, and that's where like you have these fancy neighborhoods like Brickell, where like you also again have like really expensive hotels like $400 to $1,000 a night or more. Like you have like the Salt Bay's famous restaurant. You have Hotel Indigo. You have all these fancy hotels. I can go on and on. Brickell's very fancy. So if you want to avoid spending a lot of money, I would avoid Brickell as well. But if you go further north, like into Wynwood area, or if you wanted to go by the airport, it'd be a lot cheaper. You'll be paying like within the $100 to $200 range. But with these fancy hotels, I should note that I wouldn't recommend having a car. I wouldn't be relying on complimentary breakfasts and all this stuff. That's something a lot of people with budget-friendly um, uh, mindsets, or not mindset, but budget-friendly situations, like who are looking for budget-friendly hotels or accommodations. They often look for a complimentary breakfast. I do as well, but you're not going to find it in those type of hotels. Also, here's also what I recommend is skip, like I said, skip the South Beach stuff, most of it. I would look for like Airbnbs if you're into rather if you don't like hotels in Little Havana. Win one again. You don't pay that much. It's like at most probably 500 a night. But at most, don't quote me on it. I think it might have changed in recent years, lately because of I guess they're really cracking down on tourism a little bit. Not European style, but I've noticed the prices have been going up lately in Miami because, well, everyone wants to be there. So, okay, so that's with accommodations. Definitely check out Little Havana, Wynwood. Those are the places I would recommend going if you're on a budget. With food, food, you can get authentic and affordable Cuban food, for example, along Little Havana. I mean, even famous places like Versailles and Sandwich de Miami, they're like under $10. And these places are really famous. The only thing is you got to reserve in advance and really be on top of making sure you get a table because everybody and their mother wants to go there. La Camaronera, also Garcia's Seafood Food Grill. Those are ones that also are great to check out. Awesome, authentic food. You can get all sorts of like Caribbean food, Central American, South American, Mexican food, at really affordable rates without also like, because people, for example, in other places, restaurants will jack up the prices for the tourists, but here they don't. So that's the great thing about it. Activities. So activities, you may be surprised, you're not surprised that everything like, for example, doing like flyboarding, doing going out to like renting a yacht, doing things out like in the water really costs a lot of money in Florida, and obviously there's no way around it. But believe it or not, unlike for example places like Hawaii, where Hawaii it is kind of actually, no, sorry, not Hawaii. I'm sorry about that. California, for example, where it's oftentimes going to like state parks and all that requires you to pay. For the most part, I mean, I think there's one part like Key Biscayne you do have to pay, but many of the beaches and all that stuff they're free. In California, they're free too, but I mean, I think from what I've seen, what I've noticed going to both is that just I just noticed that like it's less of a hassle to be able to go to from beach to beach and parking and all that stuff than it is in other states. I will say that that's definitely a thing that you can. It's awesome to do that. And during the day, for example, if you go to South Beach, go to Muscle Beach, completely free. You can just get the equipment and just start working out. Definitely enjoyed it. Free of charge. Walking along Sunset Walk at Bayfront Park, I definitely would recommend. Really going out and really enjoying yourself in Miami, like going to the malls and all that, like the arts district. That stuff, yeah, will they'll cost because parking is kind of, when it comes to like parking within like urban areas, except for like suburban and all that, you can't escape like having to pay for parking. But it's not as bad as places like Chicago, where like parking is like insanely amount expensive and everywhere. So keep that in mind. There's self-guided tours, Little Havana, and all that. So that's the type of stuff I would recommend for doing for free activities. Um, and unlike some of those more expensive places where you have to rent out a $200 cabana and all that, like Fontainebleau, well, if you have the right hotel, if you're able to, um, go to like a public beach, you don't need to necessarily have that, like have to pay or have to get a cabana necessarily to enjoy yourself at the beach. So that's really when it comes out. So what about when those of us who do, for example, people who do have who want to have experienced luxurious Miami? Well, you come to one of the best places to have that because you can splurge all the money you want there and have the time of your life. Accommodations, well, where to start really? The SETI, you got Fontainebleau, obviously. You got One Hotel South Beach, Faena, all these the top tier beachfront destination stays. They're right there at Mid Beach and South Beach as well. Well, South Beach I've noticed is more budget friendly than Mid Beach, but that's just my take on it. Dining, obviously, you got so many restaurants are there. Carbone, Prime 112 for steak, uh, Joya Beach for like beach club dining vibes. Also, nightlife, where to start. I mean, you will basically hit all the best places if you go like Brickell, Wynwood, and all of Miami Beach. Really, you got Live, you got 11 rooftop bars like Sugar and Brickell. You got the Wynwood Wall, like that area. There's so many like different like Wynwood like nightclubs and all that. I think there's one called Electric Lady, Mad Club Wynwood. Also, the Dirty Bunny. Yeah, that's the one I remember as well. And Gramps. Gramps is actually really good. I went there once. So that's what I would recommend when it comes to spending money on nightclubs, and obviously go anywhere from $800 to a few thousand, like 5,000, for example. Crazy amounts. Also, of course, private yacht clubbing. Can, that's definitely an option. Definitely would check it out and see if you get invited to opportunities here and there. So yeah, that covers really on the fly what luxurious Miami is all about. So is Miami worth it? So after all that, I would say Miami is worth it, but it depends what kind of traveler you are. If you're like someone who loves high energy cities with nightlife, like, the city never sleeps, so to speak, but also have a mix of beach days and mix of culture. So you get a little bit of like Ibiza, you get a little bit of New York combined together. That's basically what Miami is in a nutshell. A New York Ibiza combination. But if you're looking for a relaxing, budget friendly vacation without crowds, you might feel like it's kind of overwhelming. So the good news is you don't have to be rich to enjoy it. You just need to be able to plan ahead and know where to spend and save. Um, like I said, there's so many places to go in Florida. And yes, some of them are far. It's a big state. But you got the Bright Line train. It connects you to Orlando. You get maybe a 3 hour train ride. You also got the Florida Keys, so it's more, I guess, low key area. No pun intended. You got so many nature places to go to if you're into that. The Everglades. Keep in mind mosquitoes and all those other uh, animals or I guess pests that I mentioned earlier in the podcast. Keep that in mind. You'll need it. It'll be kind of it depends what time of year you go to. So I wouldn't go in the summer or even the spring. Just go in the winter after hurricane season, which hurricane season, if you may know, it's like, I believe from May to like end of November, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Don't forget, South Florida is a climate zone in and of itself. It's so different from northern Florida and even mid Florida, where they're much more milder climates. South Florida is like a subtropical climate. So you'll always get warmth. You'll always be able to escape the cold for the most part if you go to South Florida in continental US. So you can go there, or you can go on the other side as well. The west coast is basically the white sand coast, the Gulf of Mexico, but that's that's more like attractive to like retirees, people who want to, a lot of old timers and Naples. You got the St. Pete, Tampa. You got what other places I'm thinking off the top of my head? Sarasota, all those places. Those are more like for, I guess, low key people, and a lot of retirement people tend to go to those areas. But if you're like a more younger, like high energy, you want more like things to do, like hip things to do, so to speak, Miami is the place to go. I think it's the best out of all the cities in the U.S. So that's just my personal opinion. But anyways, yeah, this is Miami's an awesome city. I love it. It can be a budget friendly place. You just gotta be careful and be mindful of it. But yeah, this is Wanderlust and Wallets, and today's topic is all about Miami. What you can do from a budget versus a luxury. Over the overview of the city and the destination as a whole. Just tell me what you think. This is CoffeyTravels and my podcast, Wanderlust and Wallets. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, keep chasing experiences, not expenses. Take care.